Hello, tonight I'm going to make chicken barley soup. This is another easy one, but it has a lot of great flavor to it. And I want to say at the beginning that if you don't want to use chicken, you want to have a vegetarian barley soup, I would think all you need to do is add more vegetables and maybe a little bit more barley and use vegetable stock instead of chicken broth. That being said, I'm going to make chicken barley soup. As far as ingredients, there aren't very many ingredients in this. And it's a lot of 1 cup ingredients. 1 cup of sliced carrots, 1 cup of diced celery, 1 cup of diced onions, and 1 cup of diced chicken. I want to remind you, I know most of you know this, but when a recipe says 1 cup diced chicken, that means chicken that's already been cooked. If you work with raw meat, the recipe will tell you how they want it cooked. But this is 1 cup of diced chicken, that means it was already cooked. Then I would need a half of a cup of medium barley. I found the barley in the same spot they have the bagged dried beans. Now there's an instant barley, but it's better if you use just the regular medium barley because you're going to be cooking this for a while. 1 tablespoon of oil, a half a teaspoon of salt. It calls for more, but I'm using the chicken broth, so I can add more later. I also have here a teaspoon of thyme and 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. And then I'm going to be using 6 cups of chicken broth. So there's very few ingredients, but we need to cook our veggies before we start. I have my pot getting warm. Let's get going. I've warmed up the oil in my Dutch oven. Now I'm going to add the vegetables and let them cook a little. You want the onions soft. So here goes the carrots, the celery. I have it on about a medium heat here, and the onions. Now we'll let those cook for a little bit. It might take 5 minutes, I don't know, I'll try to time it for you. Okay, they've softened up somewhat. They're still going to be cooking for, hour and a half, so I think we're good to go. Now you add all of the rest of the ingredients except the chicken. Here's 2 cups of broth. Remember, if you're doing vegetarian, use vegetable stock. 4 cups. I'm going to be bringing this to a boil. There's 5, and I'll get the last one in. Here are the spices, the thyme and the pepper, and a little salt, the barley. I'm going to bring this to a boil. Alright, let's turn that up. You're going to have a nice amount of soup here. It's not going to be a humongous amount, which you don't really need, or you could freeze it. Let me get the rest of that broth in the broth. All of the broth is in, and I'm waiting for it to come to a boil. I will let it boil for 40 minutes, and then add the chicken and let that cook 5 or 10 more minutes. So let's bring that to a boil. The other day, I don't know, when I was doing this, it remembered me. The other day I talked to Mark and Mary. They were friends from northern Minnesota who lived near where we had our farmhouse and the cabin. Well, I talked to both of them the other day, and I wanted to let you know that Mary is where I got the sugar cookie recipe from. So shout out to Mary, thank you so much. And another shout out to a certain person, I really won't say who he is, Thomas, but he got us cooked on C's Candies. He lives near San Diego. So anyway, I've got a recipe I want to try. I want to try the polar bear paws soon. It's a copycat recipe. We'll see how it turns out. I'll make a video when I try that. Okay, I'm going to let this come to a boil and put a lid on it. One thing I really enjoy is all your comments. I like to hear how you made the recipe with your alterations that were for your taste. That's a lot of fun. Keep it coming. But I do have a question. At my grocery store, they have, off and on, bags of used vegetables and fruit that are just about to go bad, but they're not. And they'll be like 99 cents. So you can get a huge amount of food in a 99-cent bag. My problem is with this one is I don't know my peppers. Can anybody tell me what these are? What the name for these are? And are they spicy? I don't know whether to dehydrate them, to dry them, or what. I'd appreciate any help. Thank you. Well, my buzzer went off after 40 minutes. Now I'm going to add the chicken. Remember, a cup of chicken. And I'll cook that for about 5 to 10 minutes, and that'll be all set. It's had 40 minutes of cooking. I put the chicken in, and it's coming back to a little simmer. I'll put the lid on and let this cook for about 5 to 10 more minutes. But I think I'll have a little when I'm done. It's only about 3 o'clock, but I had an early breakfast and I didn't get to lunch. So I think I'll have some about 3 o'clock. You know, my great niece Ellie was over one time, we had the same situation arise. You know, there's breakfast, there's brunch, there's lunch, and there's supper. We need to come up with a name for when you eat something at about 3 in the afternoon. So we decided we'd call it slunch. And I think I might have a little slunch when this is done. Looks so good. Here we go. My slunch is ready. I have some salad. I even had some bread that I could put my soup in my bread bowl. Don't hate me because it looks so good. Make your own. Anyway, it's so good looking that I think I might even have a little cup when I watch my Cubbies tonight. Go Cubs go! Until next time, bye-bye. Bye.